You are listening to AP Taylor Swift, the podcast for Swifties who are all about the lyrics. We're your hosts. I'm Jen.
I'm Muncie.
And I'm Jody.
And we are your unofficial professors of Taylor Swift.
Hey, it's Jody. I am here to share a preview of this week's AP Taylor Swift After School episode. In honor of the release of the Opalite music video, our paid subscribers are getting early access to our Opalite deep dive episode. We've got this episode scheduled to go live on our pod later in April, but we wanted to give our after school subscribers special early access to complement the new Opalite music video. I love that we're able to give our paid subscribers such early access to a really fun and engaging conversation that we recorded about a month ago. And it's really fun now to see the music video and see how our lyric interpretations show up in some of the metaphors in the video. So if you like this sneak peek and want to listen to the full episode, you can subscribe to After School on Substack at aptaylorswift.substack.com/subscribe. Our after school subscribers get new bonus episodes every month. They get fun bonuses like additional content, early access to episodes like this one, even early access to future episode topics, and the ability to inform our upcoming content. And you can find the link in the show notes of this episode. Enjoy. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of AP Taylor Swift. This week, we are doing a deep dive of Opalite. Opalite came out in 2025 on the album The Life of a Showgirl. This was track 3, written by Taylor Swift, Max Martin, and Shellback. So let's start, as we often do, with the title. Opalite is a man-made glass designed to mimic natural opal. So that's what we're dealing
I
with.
feel like we have a little bit of information and context going into this because Taylor Swift made her lyric video movie thing where she was like, this is where I came up with this word. And
Yeah.
worth saying that Opalite was one of the things that she just had written down as
She's
a
like, "That
concept
sounds
in her
cool."
collection of words as things that she likes. And
Okay, so we got into this last week, but I need to be educated. Opal is cursed? Tell me more.
apparently the idea of the cursed opal was popularized by fiction, 19th century fiction, particularly Sir Walter Scott's novel Anne of Geierstein.
I know my
Or
mother said
tarnished
you're not supposed
opal.
to buy yourself an opal. Somebody can gift you
Okay.
opal.
Tarnished
Apparently,
opal
based on
brings curse.
superstition and tradition, certain zodiac signs should avoid opal. Some sources say Aries, Leo, Scorpio, and Cancer. Non-October birthdays, the myth says it's unlucky for those not born in October
Yes.
to wear it, but this is widely
Mhm.
debunked. And then those buying for themselves. Some superstitions claim it's bad luck to buy your own opals, but this is considered an old wives' tale.
I think the thing that is so fascinating to me, opal is nature-made, opalite is man-made. So we're starting off with a sense of, I think, agency and creation. Opalite is something that a human has made, like, on their own. It's not something you're just going to go find in nature. So instead of, like, waiting to discover opal, you could say she is creating opalite to get the same thing. So I think that there is that element too, just right off the bat. Because I remember when she did, it's in our episode where we talked about her appearance on the New Heights podcast and doing the song title reveal, that we all were like, why opalite, not opal? Like, opalite is so specific.
Yeah.
And we kind of
We
touched on
kinda
it last week.
we got an answer both in the head of the lyric video, but also I think she mentioned it on the New Heights podcast that she liked this idea of the metaphor of opalite being man-made and creating something beautiful, man creating something beautiful as opposed to something like just having to having to naturally occur. So I will read the first verse. I had a bad habit of missing lovers past. My brother used to call it eating out of the trash. It's never gonna last. I thought my house was haunted. I used to live with ghosts. And all the perfect couples said, when you know, and when you don't, you don't. We've got our eye
We do.
right out
It's
of the
also
gate.
an interesting rhyme scheme
Yes.
because it's A, B, A, B, B, but they're not, it's an imperfect rhyme because trash and last and past aren't perfect.
Well, eating out of the trash is on the same line as it's never gonna last.
Oh,
And
it's not for the one I'm looking at. So
well,
that's interesting.
It's a very story-driven verse. We often will get either, like, a
I was just gonna say,
story-driven
yeah.
verse or, like, a poetic verse, and this is more of a narrative, "Here's the story I'm trying to tell and the scene I'm trying to set," as opposed to,
Yeah, whenever she uses dialogue,
"That's a good way to put
like,
it."
my brother used to call it blah, like, it feels immediately like we're getting a story here
Yeah,
because it
Yeah.
feels like you're going back into a particular
right.
time, and it definitely does have, like, a musical kind of rhyme. Feels storytelling because we have some quotes.
Yeah, so if we go line by line, my bad habit was I used to miss my old lovers, and my brother was like, "That ain't a good idea." But also, like, the line specifically, my brother used to call it eating out of the trash, is just poetry.
Well, especially because it comes out right after of missing lovers past.
Right.
Like, that is such a
Whimsy.
poetic way of saying something. It's like, I mean, it's there for the rhyme, but it's also just, I had a bad habit of missing lovers past, where past comes after the word rather than before.
Missing past
You have something
lovers.
that sounds like Old English. It sounds like an inversion of the words that we would normally say. And then it goes from that to eating out of the
Eating out of the
trash.
trash.
Like,
It's also I never would have thought of this if we hadn't done our deep dive into the fate of Ophelia, but we talked about how in Hamlet, the person who could have saved Ophelia was her brother, but her
Oh,
brother,
love
Laertes,
that.
didn't come back. And so we get Fate of Ophelia, and then
We
two
get the
songs
brother's wisdom.
later, we have a brother's wisdom being like, you need to stop doing this.
I love that.
Yeah. She's, like, reclaiming, like, "Hey, Laertes couldn't do it, but my
Yeah.
brother helped."
Yeah. And her brother doesn't get a lot of call outs in songs. This is a very family driven song. We get her brother and her
And her
mom.
mom. I know, this is like, is it,
The best day.
Last Day? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, brothers, like, "You threw them out for a reason. Don't go back in there."
Yeah. I have a question about It's Never Gonna Last.
Yeah.
Is it that the relationships are never gonna last, or her going back to it is never gonna last? So, like,
I
this
think it's
habit is never gonna
I
last.
think it's the relationships, like, it's eating out of the trash because
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
you got rid of them once
Makes sense. I just
before.
I was never super clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, because you would think that the quotation would go until it's never gonna last, like, that he would say the whole thing, but I
Yeah.
feel like she is interpreting "it's eating out of the trash" to mean it's never gonna last, like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get
Yeah.
On
sick.
again, off again's not a
Right,
sustainable
exactly.
lifestyle.
And
Yeah.
it sounds like that's why I thought my house was haunted, I used to live with ghosts because the
The lover's
trash,
past.
the lovers past, the trash, the ghosts, like, those are all how she's referring to these lovers past.
I think we've talked about this once in the past, maybe when we were discussing the song "Haunted," but I think that's, like, one of the words that she uses
Yes.
very often in her
Mhm.
lyrics, so I think it's funny how she's used it here, in a kinda, like, different way. It's like leaning into the haunted house, but all because she used to live with ghosts, which are her bad habit. Like, it feels a little humorous to me, it's not, her most serious use of the word.
Yeah.
And I think of the Antihero music video about everyone you've ghosted is in there in the room with you.
Mhm.
And this idea of Antihero being this vulnerable song about I'm the problem, it's me, and like some of the ghosts or her own demons in some ways in that. And Antihero is like self-blame, it's all my fault. And then the idea here is to me, this is flipping it on its head and saying, I thought my house was haunted and I used to live with ghosts of I kind of did do that to myself.
Right.
And we're
Mhm.
we're we're setting a stage here of the past of I had a bad habit. My brother used to call it. I thought I used to live. So we're
Mm,
still in past tense here, and we have a lot of songs of her feeling haunted by things. And we don't know at this point in the song what the present tense is, but we know this is past tense, so that's
interesting.
and then all the perfect couples said, when you know, and when you don't, you don't.
I love this line because I always say this to people, and I know it pisses people off.
Yes, it does piss people off, as
I
people, it
know,
pisses
but
people off.
I know. I as someone with some level of self-introspection, whatever, self-awareness, I understand why it would be
Self-introspection or whatever that
Whatever that
nonsense
is.
that
is.
word. I understand why it would piss people off, but the facts remain that when you know, and when you don't, you don't.
Yeah. So I question, is she saying this positively or flippantly?
I think she's saying it flippantly.
I don't know if I even personally ever associated like an emotion with it.
Yeah.
I felt like she was setting the stage of here's what my past was. I had this bad habit. My brother was like the advice from her brother was you need to stop eating out of the trash. And I also in the past my house was haunted and the advice from the perfect couples was like when you know, when you don't. Like none of them stop eating out of the trash. Good advice from the brother, but it's not necessarily advice on it's stop doing this. It's not advice on how to move
Yeah.
forward. So it's a lot of like, here's the stage of where I was, and all the advice I was getting was like not the most helpful in giving me momentum to go
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah. And
There's a lot of trapped feeling in that.
I think it definitely comes across that the advice was not helpful.
right, because you're telling me when I know, and I don't know. So I guess I don't know. Like that's how
No,
it
I think
feels.
that means I think it means if you don't know, then that
You're not.
means
Yeah, it's not the right
one.
person,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
don't
yeah.
know. But like that again, to your point, Monty,
Yeah.
is like
So
the
then what
most
do you do?
frustrating advice. So like, what do I do?
Fully
Yeah, it's a
accept.
very stuck feeling of these lyrics of
Right.
I knew where I was, but I didn't really know how to
Yeah,
move
what to do
forward or do
next.
something
because
different.
knowing isn't really good enough. It's like, okay, how do I get there? And this advice does nothing for that.
Great. Okay.
Which is so fascinating because she did say, I don't remember the exact quote, but in the Eras Tour documentary, she said something along the lines of like, at a certain point, you've got to try something new.
Oh, that was the advice that her mother gave her
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
she was like, I got something to tell you, and you're not gonna like it.
Well-
but there's this real cute boy, and he's an athlete, and he likes his mom.
We got it like later on. We got a lot of what her mom tells her.
Her mom is telling her
and
a lot.
just
Yes.
All right. Well,
We've learned
before
that
her
her mom
mom
is
tells
full of
her
gems.
anything, we get more.
Opalites.
We get more others because there's a lot of other
Yes.
people in this song, and
There are
Yes.
many characters, yes.
I know, and all of the foes.
If you enjoyed this sneak peek and you want to hear the rest of the episode, plus get additional episodes of AP Taylor Swift, join our after school subscribers at aptaylorswift.substack.com/subscribe or by clicking the link in the show notes of this episode. That's all we have for you today on AP Taylor Swift. Be sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast app. Follow us on your social channel of choice at AP Taylor Swift to stay up to date. And join us next time as we overanalyze and deep dive into the next Taylor Swift song on AP Taylor Swift.